Hi, I'm Tim and thanks for watching this video. A few weeks ago I showed you how to install Jellyfin on a UGREEN NAS in a Docker container. Well, in this video I'm going to show you how to access Jellyfin remotely from anywhere using your mobile phone or tablet, provided that you have either a 5G or a remote Wi-Fi connection. And what you'll need to do this, to set this up, is this. So you'll need either a Windows PC, a Mac or a Linux-based machine, which will be installing the VPN software Netrinos on. Then, of course, you'll need the device that Jellyfin is installed on, and in my case it's a UGREEN NAS, but you can actually use the same PC or Linux or Mac machine for Jellyfin as well as Netrinos, so you can have them both on the same machine if you want to do so. And then finally, of course, you'll need a mobile device to watch Jellyfin on remotely. So in this case, I'm using a mobile phone connected to a 5G network. So with that out the way, let's get started. So here we are at my computer, and what we first need to do is you need to first go to the Netrinos website. So that's netrinos.com. Now I will put links in the video description. And at the Netrinos network homepage, what you need to do is create your Netrinos account, which is the VPN that we'll be using. So to do this, you will click sign up at the top, and then there's two options. You can either have the professional plan, which is just $10 a month, and you get a 14-day free trial with that. But also I've got a link in the video description which will provide you with the professional plan with a 30-day free trial instead of 14 days. So if you want the professional plan, then check the links in the video description. However, you can use the free personal plan, as it already includes 3 users and 100 devices and also basic features. So if you want the personal plan, you can actually use that as well. But of course, Netrinos would like you to pay for the professional plan to support their cause and their business. So what you need to do is just fill out the account information there. So you put your first name, last name, email address, and then a username. And the username is actually part of your domain name as well. So that will become part of your domain name. So make sure you pick a username that refers to you and that you can remember. So then you would choose a password, enter the promo code if you want to do so, and you can use Mr. Tim Tech as the promo code, which will give you the professional plan with a 30-day free trial. And then you can complete the how do you learn about us. So once you've done that, you'll then get a confirmation email with a link that you have to click in to confirm your account. So that verifies that the email address, and then your account will be set up. So once you've done that, what we're going to do is install Netrinos. So we'll be installing Netrinos first on the computer, which will be acting as the gateway. So the computer, it could be a Windows-based machine, a Mac or Linux. So what you do is click download and then the versions there. So Windows, Mac OS and Linux. So install that on the computer on your local network. So that means that it's the same network as what your Jellyfin server is running on. So once you've done that, you'll be presented with the Netrinos application. So as you can see on screen here, I'm running it in Ubuntu. So I've already installed Netrinos, so just follow the prompts to install Netrinos. And then what you'll do is open Netrinos, so you'll get the Netrinos login. And what you'll do is type in your username and password that you created in your account sign up. So once you've typed in your username and password, you'll then be presented with the Netrinos status screen, and it will say this device, and you'll see next to it there's a +3. Now this +3 means that I've already added virtual devices in there. So if we click on +3, you'll see that I've added my Home Assistant and also my Open Speed Test servers as well. So to add the Jellyfin server in there, you'll need to click the gear icon. And then what you need to do is for virtual devices, click Setup. Then where it says adding virtual devices, we'll click the scan button, and it will then scan your home network for all the devices that you can link in to the Netrinos VPN network. So as you can see, there's various devices here. However, in my case, it hasn't shown up the NAS. So the UGREEN NAS that Jellyfin is running on, it's not showing up. And this is because it's in a different VLAN. Now, this doesn't matter because we can add it manually. So to do that, you would need to go to your NAS. So here you can see I've logged into my UGREEN NAS. And then what you need to do is go to Control Panel, select the network icon, and then at the top, select Network Connection. It will then reveal the IP addresses that your UGREEN NAS is using. So in my case, we'll be using 192.168.1.20. So we'll close this and then we'll log out of our UGREEN NAS and then back at the Ubuntu server. So the Ubuntu where we've got Netrinos installed, we'll enter the IP address manually. So what we'll do is click Cancel. Then it will take us back to the virtual devices screen. So here under description, what we'll do is type in NAS2. So that's the name of my NAS, and you can type in anything you want. And then in the host name, again, in lowercase, we'll call this NAS2. However, again, you can change the host name to anything you want. Then in the target, what we'll do is enter the IP address of our UGREEN NAS, which of course we've just obtained. And then once you've entered the IP address, click Add, and then the NAS will appear in the list of devices here. So here you'll see we've got NAS2, and then its IP address, and then of course we've got the list of secure IP addresses. Now these IP addresses are the ones that you'll use to access your Jellyfin server remotely. So once you've added your NAS or other devices, if you want to add further devices in there, you can add up to 3 virtual devices with the free account or unlimited devices with the $10 a month paid account. So once you've entered your NAS in there, we'll click back. And then what we're going to do is open up our mobile device. So here on screen, you'll see that I've opened up my mobile phone and it's connected to the 5G network. So I've turned off Wi-Fi just to prove that it does actually work. And what I've done is gone to the Google Play Store. So you can use Apple devices or Google devices. And then what I've done is search for Netrinos VPN. And if you scroll down, you'll see that we've got Netrinos in the list of tools there with the blue icon with white lines in the logo. Make sure that you select and install the correct one. And once it's installed, and then once you've opened up Netrinos and typed in your username and password and then click login, it will then log you in to your VPN over your 5G or remote Wi-Fi connection. So just wait for it to discover peers, and as you can see, it's discovered this device, which is the RMX3943. So you'll see we've got the cloud green icon against it, which means it's connected to the network. And then we've also got US1, which is my Ubuntu server 1, and you'll see that it's also green. So if you click on the green icon with the +4 or plus however many you've added in, it will then bring up the virtual devices that you can connect to. So you'll see we've got NAS2. So what we're going to do is click on NAS2, and then we're going to copy the name. So click copy name, and then we can close the Netrinos, so it's still running in the background. Open up our web browser, and then what we're going to do is paste in the link, and then we're going to enter a colon and then 8096. So 8096 is of course the port that Jellyfin runs on. So this is the default port number, but if you've changed yours in Jellyfin, then you need to enter the port number that Jellyfin is running on and which you use to access it normally on your local network. So once you've pasted in the host name and then entered a colon and then 8096, you can then go to that page and wait for it to load, and then you can see we get the Jellyfin logo appearing, and it's loaded up Jellyfin running on our UGREEN NAS on our local network. So this is being run, as I've said, over a 5G connection which is here. So Wi-Fi is being disabled, and we've just got the 5G icon at the top there. So to watch anything, for example, we can click this, and it will then in a moment start playing the video over the 5G connection remotely. So you can be anywhere in the world, provided you've got either a Wi-Fi or a 5G connection. And what you're doing is connecting directly to your network and connecting directly to your Jellyfin server. So that's how easy it is to set up remote access to Jellyfin using a Windows PC, a Mac or a Linux-based PC, a mobile device, and of course the UGREEN NAS, which Jellyfin is run on. Now, as I've said, you can use any device to run Jellyfin. So if you've got Jellyfin on another brand of NAS, or you're running it on the same computer that Netrinos is running on your local network, that's totally fine as well. So hope you found this video useful, easy to set up, easy to use. Thanks for watching this video. Take care, and I'll be back soon with more videos. Bye for now.